How does lockpicking work? To understand lockpicking, we first have to understand how a lock works. Locks have two rows of pins, key pins and driver pins. The key pins interact with the cuts of different heights on a key. The driver pins block the core of the lock from turning without the correct key inserted by sitting between the core and the Bible. The correct key is able to interact with the key pins, which are different lengths in relation to the depth of the cut on the key, to lift all of the driver pins to shear line. Once all the driver pins are lifted out of the way, the key is able to turn the core and open the lock. So to pick a lock, we have to separate and replicate the two actions of the key, providing a turning force and lifting the driver pins to the shear line through interaction with the key pins. If we try to lift the key pins with a lockpick without applying a turning force, notice all the key pins and driver pins drop straight back down again. When we use a turning tool to apply a constant turning force to the core, we notice something different happening. One driver pin at a time binds in between the core and the Bible. This binding feels like the key pins are providing resistance to the lockpick and is a signal to the lockpicker as to which pin needs lifting. Once all the binding pins are lifted to the correct height, the lock is able to be opened. But why does this happen? What causes a pin to bind? When we look at this front cutaway lock, we can more easily see how a binding pin is trapped between the core and the Bible. When we lift this binding pin to the shear line, something interesting happens. The core turns a very small amount. We can see that the small movement of the core gives the picked driver pin a tiny shelf to sit on. The pins will only drop back down if the turning force on the core is reduced too much or turned backwards. In a perfect world, all of the driver pins and the chambers they occupy will all be made to the same diameter and position. Fortunately for lock pickers, not all the tolerances in a lock are perfect, leading to different sized driver pins, different sized pin chambers and misaligned pin chambers. These differences may only be a few hundredths of a millimeter, but the differences all add up. Because of these differences, we see how the binding pins are able to bind one after the other rather than all at once, allowing the picker to pick the lock one pin at a time. Of course, with a rake tool, it's possible to act on multiple pins all at once, and with luck, open the lock even faster. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you did, leave a like. If you like content like this and would like to see more, please consider subscribing. If you have any comments on this video, please leave them below. I read them all, and of course, I'll see you all next time.